All right, here we are back in Merced. 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., sunny and warm. There's an attack off the front as I start recording. This is my second race of the day. I want to say that was James Enright that just attacked off the front. This race was a lot slower than the 45 plus in the early parts of the race. It was just pretty pedestrian, and everybody was just kind of chill. And yeah, there was a guy that flatted his wheel. I think he kind of rolled off to the left there so he wouldn't crash going around the corner. I gotta close this down because I'm actually racing for myself in this race. I just did my teamwork in the first race, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing lead outs, but this one I had really good legs. There goes Big Dave Grinman. He's gonna go poach he went and poached a $20 preem. I think he took both the $20 preems that we had. So that kind of told me that he's riding well. There's Chris Reichert in front of me from Mike's Bikes. If anybody knows who he is, he's one of their top elite guys. Probably one of the strongest guys in NorCal, to be honest. He kind of shocked everybody when he showed up and raced his first Masters race. So we're like, okay, well, his normal MO is just to get in a breakaway and you never see him again. So, but he was very marked. The Folsom bike guys in front of me there, they were very keen on keeping the race together and controlling it, and they pretty much chased everything down. They have a really fast sprinter on their team named Josh Woods. It wasn't too hard to figure out that they were working for him. He was always protected, but very smart rider too. He was always in the right place. That's Big Dave Grumman in front of me. He's the current state champion in the criterium. He rides for Pete's Coffee. Very strong rider. So everybody's kind of just, we're getting down to the last few laps here. And the guys that aren't sprinters are definitely trying to get away. There's been quite a few attacks. This guy here in the yellow, he's actually a Cat 3. Must be a baby master because I've never seen him before. Chris Riker, we call them baby masters in their first year. So they're probably 34 years old, but their racing age is 35, so they can race in the 35 plus for the first time. And he was really strong. I mean, he attacked at least 3 or 4 times, if not more. But he would go solo, and it's hard to get away from a field this strong solo. I told him after the race, I said, if you had a couple of the strong guys to go with you, you would have probably had a good chance to stay away because he's pretty strong and he's very aggressive. There's my teammate John, who got third in the last race. He's just riding really strong, really smart. So he and I were both just kind of chilling. We were in any major move, we were in it, or I would bring it back. I did try to go with a couple of breaks, but nothing was sticking. I mean, the field was very motivated. And Folsom, if Folsom didn't have their guy in it, no one was getting away because they're a really strong team. My first time really racing with them as a unit, and I was pretty impressed. This alleyway got really bad. I didn't know it at the time, but I've got a soft rear tire. When I got home, I put my pump on it just to see what the gauge showed, and it showed 25 psi. So I'm bouncing around on it. It's every bots dot that I hit, I almost felt like I was hitting my rim, and I was starting to get a little worried. And John was telling me, you're fine, dude." So I wasn't sliding out through turns, so I just figured, well, I'm going to keep riding until it goes flat, as long as I have some air and I can safely turn. I never really took any turns really fast. I was afraid. I just stayed wide. There's one corner where we come up here, in the next few laps. All of a sudden, there's a cone in the middle of the road. It wasn't there before, and all of a sudden, like, see, there's no cone there. Well, in laps to come, all of a sudden, there's going to be a cone. I don't know if it's because there's a pothole that they were trying to cover up, but all I know is there's just this cone appears right in the middle of the turn, and it just kind of freaks everybody out. And then the next time we go through it, I think they had filled it with sand. So it created a little bit of drama, and I think it affected the way the finish happened for everybody. I kind of wish they'd have just left it alone. I don't notice there were any issues there. If we did hit it, you just rolled over it pretty easy. I mean, I don't fault the race officials or the volunteers that were just trying to keep the race safe. But right in the middle of a turn is not a place to put a cone. That's a pretty high speed turn too. I just know, just trying to keep all the... as we get towards the last few laps, I will kind of want to stay near Josh Woods just because I know that Folsom is going to be doing a lead out for him. Reichert attacks really hard with 2 to go, and everybody's on it pretty quick. But still, I mean, the speed at which he attacked and rolled off the front is like, eeh. You gotta get that back. And he was also doing the P12s later, so I don't think that he wanted to roll off the front and ride, 400 watts for 15 laps by himself, which I don't blame him, but he also pretty much toyed. So there goes the guy, the Cat 3 dude in the yellow again. He's attacking off the front. So Folsom just kind of ups the tempo just a little bit, just turn the steam up on the burners, and they just kind of keep them in check, which is perfect. That's perfect team tactics. The speeds weren't super high on any of these races because the course just didn't allow it. I mean, it's narrow, it's technical, there's potholes. It's only so fast you can go. The fastest part of the course was probably right after this turn here, which is the final turn to the finish. It was wide and safe, and that's usually where the speeds picked up above 30. But for the most part, it stayed pretty slow for normal crit speeds. I mean, normally a 35 plus race with this caliber of riders is going to be averaging 27 miles an hour, if not more. But I think we averaged 25, so that just tells you the course really determines sometimes a race, and this course was very technical. So there's going to be a split right now. So I need to close that because that's a dangerous move. Mark Tucker's in there. Mark Tucker's riding really strong right now. And the Folsom guys, and I don't know who this guy is in front of me in the black, but he was really strong as well. That looked like the move, so I thought, well, I'll jump up to this, and if we get a gap, then I'm gonna go to work and start drilling it with them. But I look back, and the field was just right on us. Reichert and Grunman, and Rich Gable is Mark's teammate. He was also in there. We're getting down to the last few laps here. I want to say we're at least 3 or 4 to go, but you're going to see Reichert attack across the start-finish line off to the left. No, actually, he goes on the backside. That's right. He attacked once earlier on the left, and it was kind of a feint attack, and everybody kind of yelled out, he's such a marked man, when someone like that attacks, it really makes people take notice. And Dave Grunman was following him too, so yeah, that was him. He just did a little feint attack there, and then he just kind of settled back into the front. So it's actually really good for me. I had really good legs for my second race. I had really good legs today, so I felt good about this finish as long as nobody got away. But I was willing to put my nose in the wind too to close any dangerous breaks. So I think this is where we're going to see the cone in the middle of the road. You'll see everybody kind of split and panic a little bit here. Like, what? Up, cone. Nope. Oh, not this lap. Sorry. Must be the next lap. I didn't really watch this video. And just kind of uploaded it. And now I'm just recording it kind of raw. There was a few people that hit a pothole on the left-hand side here after we go through the chicane. They kind of set up a cone for us on the left there. But it was a really nasty pothole that people were hitting. And I think that's what caused my rear tire to burp the air out. So I'm taking these corners, like, I kind of just am hoping that on Bell Lap, if they go really, really fast, that I'm not going to slide out and take anybody out. So that was my biggest worry. I mean, one, crashing, but two, taking somebody out because, you know. But my bike just felt, even though it was soft, it was still handling just fine. So, as long as don't feel unsafe on it, I'm going to keep riding. And my teammate kept telling me, dude, you're fine, your tire's fine. As I'm bouncing on it, I could feel every bot stop that I hit, I could feel a rim hit. But only if I hit something really hard. As long as I was just riding, it felt all right. It was just soft. And, yeah, there's Josh. He's following Chris. And that's kind of right where I need to be right here. Pretty sure. Yeah, there's the cone. See, there the cone just showed up right in the middle of the turn. So we're like, what the heck? What was that all about? I think this is where Chris attacks hard. Opens up on the left for him and he just shoots through it. I thought, yep, there he goes. And see, when he attacks. Yeah, you know he's attacking. So Richard's not really closing the gap here. I don't want to get gapped off, so I need to get up there because this is the move. So we're going into Bell Lap right now. I think Chris was hoping that if he could get a gap, he could just kilo it off the front, you know, and just stay off. But you know, Folsom was all over it. Folsom really wanted to do a lead out. If anything, Chris probably screwed up their lead out because they had to burn a lot of matches to bring him back. So we're going into Bell Lap right here. And I need to get up on this train here. I'm just hoping that, like, for me, I like it when it stays really fast. So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to do a full gas lead out. I am in the perfect spot right here. But the corner, again, up here where the cone was, all of a sudden now there's no cone, but everybody's freaked out because they're like, okay, what's going on here? So everybody kind of stops and we kind of ease through this turn and then Richard slides through there. And so now we're on Bell Lap and I'm thinking, man, we're going really slow. We're going 22 miles an hour on Bell Lap. Is this Bell Lap? So I asked this guy next to me, I'm like, are we in Bell Lap? And he said, yeah, I think so. I'm like, well, crap, I need to get up front. So I roll up here to get right up on the front before the chicane because that's the spot you want to be. And Mark's going full gas, which is perfect. There's James Enright. So, and I wanted to get behind him, but then the Folsom guy slid in. So I ended up getting his spot here. So I usually like to jump really early, but these guys are going so hard that I don't really have to. I normally would jump right out of this turn and just try to rail that turn. But Mark's got a little bit of a gap there, so I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to catch him. And I was just worried about my tire, and then I just put it in my biggest gear and just clicked into it and started going. And then off to my right, you'll see Chris Reichert go blowing by me like I'm standing still. I ended up holding on for a second, but he waxed me. I don't know if I would have beat him with a full tire or not. I mean, he was pretty fast. But anyways, that was a lot of fun. I was really happy to get second place. I mean, losing to an elite pro, amateur pro like that is nothing to be ashamed of. So, anyways,